So I hope my screen is visible. My video won't be, I won't be able to switch on my video because there is no light in the side. Okay, so we are going to see today chapter number 8 of Nectar of Devotion. So you are able to see my PPT. Okay, so let's start with Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapadkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadavaitam Savadutam Parijan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam cha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Desh Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Okay, so we are at chapter number 8. Okay, just 1 second. Is my voice audible?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, so let's start. So, chapter number 8, we are going to see the chapter title is The Offenses to be Avoided. Okay, so in this, we will discuss few offenses. Okay, so if you see this slide, there are so if you see this slide, offenses to be avoided, elaboration on 19th item of sadhana. So many items are discussed, okay, on the chapter. But on this slide, you can see there are two types of offenses being mentioned. One is seva aprad, one is nama aprad. So two types of apradhas are being mentioned. So what is the meaning of offense? Offense is anything which takes our mind away from Krishna. Okay, so that is called the offense. And the sadhana, if essence of every sadhana is to fix our mind in Krishna. So the main purpose of every sadhana is to remember Krishna always and fix our mind to Krishna so that we don't forget him anytime. Okay, so that is the essence of sadhana. And what is the meaning of essence? Taking away our mind from Krishna, that is called the offense. Okay, so many two types of aparadhas are being mentioned. One is called seva aparadh and second is called nama aparadh. Okay, seva aparadh are the deity worship offenses, the offenses which we make when we go to temple, when we see the deities. Okay, so those offenses are called the seva aparadh. Okay, and second offenses are called nama aparadh, the aparadh when which we do while we chant holy name. Okay, so that is called Nama Prad. Okay. You see the Seva Prad and Nama Prad, both of them less serious is the Seva Prad. Okay. Seva Prad is less serious. Why? Because if you do Seva Prad and not knowingly, means unknowingly, if you do Seva Prad and it can be countered by the Nama Prad. Okay. So these are less serious. The Seva Prad are less serious because when you chant, you can correct the offenses, the seva prad or the offenses for on the deity worship. Okay, so that can be corrected when we chant. Okay, and it should not be done like if we can correct these offenses by name. We are chanting, so we can do the seva prad. No, that is called unknowingly. If you are not knowing and doing, that is okay. But it does not mean that you have to deliberately do the seva aparadh. You have to do deliberately. Then it is a very big offense. Okay, so. So there are so many offenses being mentioned. We'll go through the Veda base and we'll see so many offenses are being mentioned. We have to see those offenses. And Namaprada are the 10 offenses in the chanting of the holy name. These offenses are more dangerous than Seva Prad. Okay. So out of that also one is most dangerous. So that we'll see in the next chapter. Today, in the when we'll see the chapter number 9, then we'll see the Nama Prad. Okay. Today we'll focus on Seva Prad. Okay. So these are less serious and these are for the worship of deity. So let's switch off this sharing and let's go to Veda base and let's read from there. Okay. So we are on Veda base. Okay. So offenses to be avoided. So anyone who wants to read, okay, the offenses, and then we'll be discussing simultaneously with that. Okay. So anyone wants to read?
Shall I prove?
Harish. Hare Krishna.
Offenses to be avoided. In the supplementary Vedic literature, there is following list of 32 offenses in the matter of serving the Lord. First, one should not enter the temple of the deity in a car or palanquin or with shoes on the feet. Second, one should not fail to observe the various festivals for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, such as Janmashtami and Radha Yatra.
Just 1 second. So you see these two offenses, uh, offense number 1 and offense number 2. That these are like general etiquette. Okay, so we should know the Vaishnava etiquette. These are called the Vaishnava etiquette. One should not enter the temple of the deities in a car, palanquin, or shoe on the feet, and one should not fail to observe the various festivals for the pleasure of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So these often these are the seva prad. What does this mean? This means that we are not disrespecting the Lord. So seva prad generally means that we are not disrespecting the Lord. Okay. So with the shoe we should not enter in the temple or the temple of the deity in a car or palanquin. Like car, if you are driving a car, you should not take the car inside the temple room. Okay, so car and palanquin should be kept outside and you should remove the shoe and you should enter the temple. Okay, and if you have eaten anything, then you should wash your hand and leg, then you should enter the temple room. Okay, and before entering also you should knock on the door. Okay, so generally there is bell on the temple, so you should ring the bell. Okay, and then you should enter. Generally you see the temple when there is temple, outside the temple there will be a bell. Okay, so what it signifies? It signifies that we are going to enter the Lord, so we should make some noise and then we should enter. So we should first ring the bell. Okay, and then we should enter the temple. Okay, so we should not disrespect the Lord. So these items signify that only. So these are the general principles. Just go on reading. Yes, Prabhuji.
Third offense, one should not avoid bowing down before the deity.
Okay, so we should bow down before the deity. Whenever we see the deity, we should bow down. Okay.
Fourth offense, one should not enter the temple to worship the Lord without having washed one's hands and feet after eating.
Yes, well, keep on reading.
Fifth offense, one should not enter the temple in a contaminated state. According to Vedic scriptures, if someone dies in the family, the whole family becomes contaminated. Whole family becomes contaminated for some time according to its status. For example, if the family is Brahmana, their contamination period is 12 days. For the Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, it is 15 days. And for Shudras, 30 days.
Okay, just one second, Prabhu. So you see this fifth point, one should not enter the temple in a contaminated state. That is called Sutak stage. Whenever there is death in the family, so the whole family becomes contaminated. That is the Sutak stage. Okay. So what is this contaminated state? Contaminated, okay, there are contamination means the bodily contamination because of the dead body. We are in the touch of the dead body. Along with that, the more problematic is the mental contamination because when someone die, we are someone close dies. So when we are very connected to that person, we mentally become so much attached to that person. We are in aggrieved stage, in painful state. Okay, so in that state, it is said that we should not enter the temple. Okay, and according to the Varna Ashrama, according to the Varnavasa system, the time of the mental contamination is mentioned here. So like Brahmana, they 12 days after that they can enter the temple. Kshatriya and Vaishnava 15 days, and Shudra it is 30 days. Okay, so these are mostly the mental contamination, how much they are attached to their family, how much they are like uh, so how much they are attached to the family members and the person who has died. According to that, according to the varnashma varna, there are different days being mentioned. Okay, so yes, Prabhu. Sixth one.
Sixth offense, one should not bow down on one hand. Seventh offense, one should not circumambulate in front of Sri Krishna. The process of circumambulating the temple is that one should begin circumambulating from the deity's right hand side of the temple and come round. Such circumambulation should be performed outside the temple structure at least 3 times daily.
Okay, so we should circumambulate the temple three times per minimum, three times. Okay, at least three times we should circumambulate daily temples. Okay, yes, Prabhu.
Eighth offense, one should not spread his legs before the deity. Ninth offense, one should not sit before the deity holding the ankles, elbows, or knees with one's hand. Wow, with one's hands.
Okay, so that means, see, when we sit in front of the deity, in front of the temple, we should not spread the leg in front of the deity. Second, we should not fold the leg and hold the two legs with the elbow. Okay, so these should not be there, and we should not um, hold our ankle, legs, and knees also. Okay, so that thing is there. Next, Prabhuji.
Tenth offense, one should not lie down before the deity of Krishna. 11th offense, one should not accept prasada. Prasada before the deity. 12th offense, one should never speak a lie before the deity. 13th offense, one should not talk very loudly before the deity. 14th offense, one should not talk with others before the deity. 15th offense, one should not cry or howl before the deity. 16th offense, one should not quarrel or fight before the deity. 17th offense, one should not chastise anyone before the deity.
Okay, Prabhu, just one second. So these offenses is mentioned. That means that when we are in the temple in front of deity, we should respect the deity. Okay, and we should not cry. We should not fight. We should not speak loudly. We should not keep seeing the mobile phones. Also, it is not being mentioned, but we should not do, because when we are in front of the Lord, Lord is seeing us, and we should also see the Lord. Okay, so our full attention should be towards the Lord, okay? And we should not quarrel, we should not fight, okay? Lord is there, He's listening, He's seeing us, okay? So that thing should be there. Yes, next, Prabhuji.
18th offense. One should not charitable to beggars before the deity. 19th offense. One should not speak very harshly to others before the deity. 20th. One should not wear a fur blanket before the deity. 21st offense. One should not eulogize or praise anyone else before the deity. 22nd offense. One should not speak any ill names before the deity. 23rd offense. One should not pass air before the deity. 24th offense. One should not fail to worship the deity according to one's means. In Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that the Lord is satisfied if some devotee offers him even a leaf or a little water. This phenomena prescribed by the Lord is universally applicable even for the poorest man. But that does not mean that one who has sufficient means to worship the Lord very nicely should also adopt this method and try to satisfy the Lord simply by offering water and a leaf. If he has sufficient means, he should offer nice decorations, nice flowers, and nice foodstuffs and observe all ceremonies. It is not that one should try to satisfy the Supreme Lord with a little water and a leaf, and for himself spend all his money in sense gratification.
Yes. So in this point, it is mentioned that if we can do elaborate worship of the Lord, we should do elaborate worship. If there is very little means also available, then also we should do whatever it is available to us, we should do with that, okay? But that doesn't mean that if you have the means to satisfy, means to do elaborate worship, then that means we should do the elaborate worship, okay? We should not limit ourselves to just simply with patram pushpam phalam toyam with to satisfy the Lord and other things to keep ourselves for the sense gratification. That should not be there, okay? So if one is beggar, then also he can satisfy the Lord with even patram pushpam phalam toyam, okay? But if one is like very big businessman or like Adani, okay, those type of people are there, okay, and those people should not like worship just with patram pushpam phalam tayam. Whatever elaborate worship they should do like that, okay? So according to our capacity, we should worship the Lord, okay? So this point means that only. Yes, Prabhuji.
25th offense. One should not eat anything that is not offered first to Krishna. 26th. One should not fail to offer fresh fruit and grains to Krishna according to the season. 27th offense. After food has been cooked, no one should be offered any foodstuff unless it is first offered to the deity.
Okay, so whenever we are cooking, first thing is whenever we are cooking, we should cook for Krishna, and then we should offer the fresh food stuff, fresh fruits, okay, fresh food which is made, fresh fruits to offer to Krishna, and then after it is offered, then only we should take, okay, when then only we should except those that as prasad. Okay, so that thing is there.
20th offense, one should not sit with his back toward the deity. 29th, one should not offer obeisances silently to the spiritual master, or in other words, one should recite aloud the prayers to the spiritual master while offering obeisances.
Just one second, Prabhu. You see here the word allowed is being a this is italic being mentioned. Okay, why this is being mentioned like this? Because earlier we have seen that one rule is that we should not be loudly speaking in front of the Lord. Okay, so but here we see that one should not offer obeisances silently to the spiritual master, or in other words, one should recite aloud the prayers to the spiritual master while offering obeisances. So we see here like Prabhupada's deity will be there, or in the temple room. So we should read aloud the prayers of the spiritual master. We should praise the spiritual master. Okay, so this thing is an exception. Why? Because spiritual master is like you see the Sansara Navala prayer. Okay, the spiritual master is nothing but mercy of Krishna only. Okay, that's why we in connection with Krishna we praise the spiritual master. Okay, so we can recite aloud the prayers of the spiritual master even in front of the deities, because for a devotee, spiritual master and Krishna are almost the same level, because the spiritual master is nothing but expansion of Krishna only in the material world. Okay, so that's why this word aloud is being italic here, that we can read the prayers of a spiritual master aloud, and we should read the prayers of a spiritual master aloud. Yes, Prabhuji, next offense.
30th offense, one should not fail to offer some praise in the presence of the spiritual master. 31st offense, one should not praise himself before the spiritual master. 32nd offense, one should not deride the demigods before the deity.
Okay, so these are the 32 offenses. Okay, so now some more offenses are being mentioned. Okay, from the Varaha Purana. Okay, so next devotee can read the offenses
Thank you, Prabhu.
from here. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Yes, any devotee, any volunteer?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
This is a list of 32 offenses. Beside these, there are a number of offenses which are mentioned in the Varaha Purana. They are as follows. 1. One should not touch the deity in a dark room. Second, one should not fail to strictly follow the rules and regulations in worshipping the deity. Third, one should not enter the temple of the deity without first making some sound. Fourth, one should not offer any foodstuff to the deity which has been seen by dogs or other lower animals.
Just one second, Prabhu. So
Yes,
this
Prabhu.
point, just fourth point, you see, one should not offer any foodstuff to deity which had been seen by lower animals like dog. And so first thing is, when we are at home and we have deity at home, we should not keep the lower animals like dog and cat. Those animals we should not keep. Okay, why? Because when they see, they want to eat. Okay, they have the tendency of that they want to eat. So that thing is there, and it is not recommended for a Vaishnava to keep the animals like dog and cat and lower animals at home. Okay, so that point is there. Yes, Prabhuji. Fifth one.
Fifth, one should not break silence while worshipping. Sixth, one should not pass urine or evacuate while engaged in worshipping. Seventh, one should not offer incense without offering some flower. Eighth, useless flowers without any fragrance should not be offered. Ninth, one should not fail to wash his teeth very carefully every day. 10th, one should not enter the temple directly after sexual intercourse. 11th, one should not enter the temple after touching a woman during her menstrual period. 12th, one should not enter the temple after touching a dead body. 13th, one should not enter the temple wearing garments of red or blue color or garments which are
Unwashed.
unwashed.
Just 1 second. So here also one point is there that we should not enter the temple wearing garments of red and blue color or garments which are unwashed. So main problem is this red and blue color. Okay. So this red and blue color, it is said that we should not be like too much bright colors. We should not wear, because when we are entering the temple, everyone's attention should be towards the Lord. Okay. We should not decorate our too much that the people are not seeing the Lord, people are seeing us. So we should not do like that. We should be very simple and nicely decorated. Decorate ourselves with tilak, kantimala, and nice clothes. Okay, but too much bright red and too much bright blue colors we should avoid. Okay, so that thing is being mentioned. That not that strictly full red and blue color, any dhoti kurta, any kurta is there, we should not wear, but it should not be too much bright or attractive so that it attract the attention of the people. People are not seeing the Lord, people are seeing us now. It should not be like that. Okay, so yes.
Yes, 14th, one should not enter the temple after seeing a dead body. 15th, one should not pass air within the temple. 16, one should not be angry within the temple. 17th, one should not enter the temple after visiting a crematorium. 18th, one should not belch before the deity. So until one has fully digested his food, he should not enter the temple.
So best thing is to enter the temple in the morning. Okay, so
Yeah.
morning program. When we are empty stomach, we should go to the temple after passing stool, everything, cleaning ourselves. Okay, taking bath, wearing washed clothes. Then we should enter the temple. Okay, morning. Or if you have eaten, then at least 1 or 2 hours after the eating. Okay, then we should enter. Yes, bro. Next one.
19th, one should not smoke marijuana or ganja. 20th, one should not take opium or similar intoxicants. 21st, one should not enter the deity room or touch the body of the deity after having smeared oil over his body. 22nd, one should not show disrespect to a scripture teaching about the supremacy of the Lord. 23rd, one should not introduce any opposing scripture. 24th, one should not chew betel before the deity. 25th, one should not offer a flower that was kept in an unclean pot. 26th, one should not worship the Lord while sitting on the bare floor. One must have a sitting place or carpet. 27th, one should not touch the deity before one has completed taking bath. 28th, one should not decorate his forehead with the 3-lined tilaka. 29th, one should. Yes.
So I think what have you seen this 3-line tilaka? What is this 3-line tilaka? Anyone knows?
Like Shaivites put like that.
Vibhuti, Prabhuji.
Vibhuti. Okay. So Prabhu has correctly mentioned the people who worship Lord Shiva. Okay.
Shiva. Yeah.
Or the people who are impersonalist. Okay. They also put the 3-line tilak or 3-finger, and from one side of forehead to other side of forehead they do like that. But Vaishnava is the straight tilak, the straight which is going from the nose till the in the forehead, middle of the forehead, like that. So Vaishnava tilak is like that, and one should not do this 3-line tilak or impersonalist tilak. Okay, so that is being mentioned. One should not decorate his forehead with 3-line tilak. Yes.
One should not enter the temple without washing his hands and feet.
Okay. So these were some rules. Others rules are little bit. Others are there. So next devotee can read from here.
Shall I read probably other rules?
if any other devotee wants to read, then that will be nice, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, anyone?
May I, Prabhu?
Prabhuji.
Shweta Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Mataji and Prabhuji. Other rules are that one should not offer foodstuff which is cooked by a non-Vaishnava. One should not worship the deity before a non-devotee, and one should not engage himself in the worship of Lord while seeing a non-devotee. One should not worship the deity without first worshipping the demigod Ganpati, who drives away all impediments in the execution of devotional service. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that Ganpati worships the lotus feet of Lord Nrsimhadev, and in that way has become auspicious for the devotees in clearing out all impediments. Therefore, all devotees should worship Ganpati. The
Okay,
deities.
just 1 second, Mataji. So, do anyone has any confusion now after reading this paragraph? Anyone is having any confusion?
Clear. I have heard that we should worship only Krishna. We should not worship any other demigod like that. I had that in mind.
Okay, so one doubt Prabhuji is having. Any other devotee is having doubt? No other devotee is having any doubt? So it is being mentioned here that all devotees should worship Ganpati. So what do you think? So what do you think that before worshipping Lord Krishna, we should worship Lord Ganpati, then we should consider worshipping Krishna like that? What do you think?
That's what I am thinking too.
Okay. Other
Ganapati
devotees?
Vishnu, sir.
Yes, Prabhuji?
Ganapati itself Vishnu.
Ganpati itself is Vishnu. Okay.
Shuklam Vardham Vishnum Sasivarnam.
Okay.
So all the
Ganpati.
people worshipping Ganapati also, but it is
Mhm.
also one of the deity, one of the demigod.
No, I didn't get you. What we should do in temple? We should worship Lord Ganpati first, then Krishna, or Ganpati or Krishna is equal, you are saying like that.
Prabhuji.
Yes, yes,
When we
Prabhuji.
are in consciousness, no other gods are not accepted, Prabhuji. We are under the path of Lord Krishna, no doubt at all.
Okay.
Before we have no Krishna Chaitanyam, we are worshipping so many demigods, so many gods. But when we are traveling through Krishna Chaitanya, no doubt at all, Krishna is the eternal power. So we don't want to worship other demigods. According to
Okay.
my opinion, Prabhuji.
Yes. Okay, Prabhuji. Any other opinion? Pratima Mataji.
I was wondering, in the temple, have not heard anyone saying Om Ganeshaya Namaha.
Yes, Mataji. Yes. So here here Rupa Goswami is saying, and he is quoting the Shastra also, Brahma Samhita, it is being mentioned. Okay. So interesting pastime is there when the devotee learn these things from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu or Nectar of Devotion. They starting they bought the deities of Ganapati, okay, and they wrote a letter to Prabhupada that we have bought the deity of Ganapati, and we want to start worshipping Lord Ganapati because it is being mentioned in Nectar Devotion, okay. So that is being mentioned. Then Prabhupada Prabhupada read all those letters, and then he replied that, my dear disciples, okay, Krishna said,
Prabhuji,
yes, miss.
our Srimad Bhagavatam was dictated by Vyasa and it was written by Ganapati. He
Okay.
understood and accepted everything. So he's the
What is the conclusion, Mataji? He's the Hare Krishna. Mataji, Hare Krishna. My voice is audible?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. So what is the conclusion?
Conclusion is here it is said we should worship Ganapati. He is auspicious. So he is a Vaishnava.
Mm-hmm.
Serving their devotee is also recommended.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So let's see what this pastime tells. So few devotees in I think in Japan, they bought the deity of Ganpati and they wanted to start the Ganpati worship because it is being mentioned in Nectar Devotion and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and they asked for permission from Srila Prabhupada that we wanted to start the deity worship of Ganpati because it is being mentioned that all devotees should worship Ganpati. Okay. Then Srila Prabhupada wrote back, okay, that Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that Sarva Dharman Parityajya. There is no need to do anything. Krishna is like root. Okay. You should not be after the branches and everything. Just we should focus on worshipping Krishna. So that is what Prabhupada has wrote. So it is like if you start worshipping the Ganpati, then his brother also you will start. So and then his father and mother like Parvati and Lord Shiva also you will start. Then every other demigods will gradually they will start come. Okay. So that's why Prabhupada says that you should become focused on Krishna. That should be our prime goal. Focused on Krishna. Never forget Krishna. Always remember Krishna. That should be our main goal. Okay. And that's why he has given just one thing that we should worship Lord Krishna. Okay. No other demigod worship. So many auspicious, unauspicious, so many auspicious, unauspicious things are there. But Prabhupada says that we should directly worship Lord Sri Krishna. No other demigod worship. Okay. So like that. So that's why this point should be clear that though Lord Ganpati or Ganpati is auspicious, okay, but we should focus on Krishna. No other demigods should be there. Okay, so one point focus would be there towards Lord Krishna. That is what I wanted to mention because this is very confusing point, and that's why we take the directly example from the Srila Prabhupada's life. Otherwise, it will be very confusing. Okay. So I hope now it is clear that though Lord Ganpati is a Vaishnava, he is serving the Lord Sri Krishna, he is serving the Lord Narasimha, okay? But we should focus on the root. The root is Lord Krishna, and that Krishna will take away all the impediment and everything, okay? So that's
Prabhuji,
yes, we
Prabhuji,
should not be taking
we have
shelter of, yes.
Prabhuji, we have 33 crores of demigods, but eternal power is Lord Krishna. That we have to understand.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. Okay. Prabhuji has nicely pointed out. So next, who was reading? Mataji, you can read next.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The
Hare Krishna.
deities should not be bathed in water that has been touched by the nails or fingers. When a devotee is perspiring, he should not engage himself in worshipping the deity. Similarly, there are many other prohibitions. For example, one should not cross or step over the flowers offered to the deities, nor should one take a vow in the name of God. These are all different kinds of offense in the. Can you scroll up, Prabhuji? Prabhuji. offenses in the matter of executing devotional service, and one should be careful to avoid them. In the Padma Puran, it is stated that even a person whose life is completely sinful will be completely protected by the Lord if he simply surrenders unto him. So it is accepted that one who surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes free from all sinful reactions. And even when a person becomes an offender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself, he can still be delivered simply by taking shelter of the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
In other words, the chanting of Hare Krishna is beneficial for eradicating all sins, but if one becomes an offender to the holy names of the Lord, then he has no chance of being delivered. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Sadhu
Krishna.
Pranam.
So you see this paragraph mentions that even if you do these offenses unknowingly, the chanting will take care of all these offenses. Okay, but when we do the nama prad, then it is a blunder. Okay, so we should not do the nama prad. So the nama prads are being mentioned. We'll see these nama prad in little bit detail later when we go through the chapter. So just for the sake of completion of this chapter, anyone can read these 10 nama prads. Any volunteers for reading
May
this?
I, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Pranam. The offenses against the chanting of the holy name are as follows. 1. To blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their life for propagating the holy name of the Lord. 2. To consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. Sometimes the atheistic class of men take it that any demigod is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. But one who is a devotee knows that no demigod, however great he may be, is independently as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, if someone thinks that he can chant Kali Kali or Durga Durga and it is the same as Hare Krishna, that is the greatest offense. 3. To disobey the orders of the spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version. 5. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. 6. To give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord. It should not be taken that because by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can be freed from all kinds of sinful reaction. One may continue to act sinfully and after that chant Hare Krishna to neutralize his sins. Such a dangerous mentality is very offensive and should be avoided. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, Karma Kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Anyone can take part in chanting the holy name of the Lord, but in the beginning, one should not be instructed about the transcendental potency of the Lord. Those who are too sinful cannot appreciate the transcendental glories of the Lord, and therefore it is better not to instruct them in this matter. 10. To not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names and to maintain material. Prabhu, can you scroll up, please? Maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success. Hare Krishna, Prabhu Pranam.
Hare Krishna. So this is the 8th chapter. So many offenses we have read. So try to avoid those offenses. And after some, in few somewhere else we'll read these the offenses against the holy name. Okay. So with this we'll stop today's class. So if any question is there, we can discuss those questions. Okay, so no question is there. So we'll finish the class today. So I
Prabhu,
beg to-
just give me 1 minute. I have to post the attendance link. Sorry,
Okay.
1 minute, Prabhu.
Yes. So attendance, please fill up the attendance form. Okay, so I think you must fill the attendance link. So we'll meet again the next week. Vanchakalpatarubhasya kripa sindhu bhavevicha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namo. So I beg to your lotus feet as well as all the Vaishnavas lotus feet. So if I have done any mistake or if you have not correctly or any mistake is there, you could point out any mistake, please forgive me. Okay. So we'll meet again the next week. Hare Krishna devotees.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Pranam.
Hare Krishna.